Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English in Moments. I'm Elena, your host for today. If you're new here, I want to let you know that we upload a new English learning video every day to help you improve your English faster. In today's episode, you will not only practice your English listening skills, but also learn how to talk confidently and naturally about your daily routine. This is one of the most important topics for English learners because it helps you build a strong foundation for real life conversations. By learning how to talk about your day, from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, you'll gain the vocabulary, sentence structure, and speaking confidence you need for fluency. We'll explore different ways of talking about daily habits, learn useful phrases and sentence patterns, and practice using them in natural conversation. You'll also get paragraph style exercises and examples that will train your brain to think and respond in English without hesitation. By the end of this lesson, you'll feel more confident speaking about your daily routine and understanding others when they talk about theirs. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a chance to improve your English every single day. Now take a deep breath, grab your notebook and a pen, and get ready to speak English fluently about your daily life. Let's begin. When learning English, one of the most useful things you can master is how to talk about your daily routine. This skill helps you in conversations at school, at work, and even in casual chats with friends. When you can confidently describe what you do every day, it becomes easier to express yourself naturally and fluently. You might be thinking that your routine is too simple to talk about, but that's not true. The more you practice speaking about your everyday life, the more fluent you become. That's because talking about daily routines includes many essential verbs, time expressions, and common vocabulary. These are the building blocks of English communication. Let's begin by thinking about the moment you wake up. A common sentence might be, I wake up at 7 a.m. every morning. This is a simple sentence, but it already shows a subject, a verb, and a time. To make it more fluent, you could say, I usually wake up around 7 a.m., but sometimes I sleep in on weekends. By adding details like usually, around, and sometimes, you make your English sound more natural. These words are called adverbs of frequency, and they help explain how often you do something. Words like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never are great for describing routines. For example, I always brush my teeth after breakfast, or I never skip my morning coffee. These sentences are short, but they carry clear meaning and help you communicate your habits. Now let's go through a short paragraph that describes a typical morning routine. This will help you understand how to structure your thoughts in English. Listen carefully. I wake up at 6:30 every morning. I turn off my alarm and lie in bed for a few minutes. Then I get up, wash my face, and brush my teeth. After that, I take a quick shower and get dressed. I usually eat a light breakfast, maybe some toast and tea, before I leave the house at 7:30. Notice how the paragraph uses the simple present tense because we are talking about daily activities. This is a key grammar point to remember. When talking about routines, we mostly use the simple present tense because the actions happen regularly. Now it's time for your first practice exercise. Listen to this paragraph again and then try to repeat it in your own words using your personal routine. You can say, I wake up at, and then describe what you do step by step. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on getting your thoughts out in English. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. You might say, I wake up at 8. I check my phone for a few minutes. Then I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and wash my face. After that, I eat breakfast with my family. Practicing like this every day will improve your fluency faster than just memorizing vocabulary. Now let's move on to the next part of the day, going to work or school. A common phrase is, I leave for work at 8 a.m. You can also say, I take the bus to school, or I drive to work. These are basic sentences, but you can make them more natural by adding time expressions or extra details. For example, I usually leave home around 7:45 and catch the 8 o'clock train to the city. Or you could say, it takes me about 20 minutes to get to work by car. Try repeating this with your own routine. Think about what time you leave the house, how you travel, and how long it takes. You can say something like, I walk to school because it's close to my house. It only takes 10 minutes. Let's continue with another example paragraph. I leave home at 8 a.m. and take the subway to work. It's usually crowded in the morning, but I listen to music or read a book during the ride. I arrive at the office around 8:45 and I start working at 9. This paragraph is great for learning vocabulary like leave, take, arrive, and start. You'll also notice time expressions like at 8 a.m., around 8:45, and at 9. These phrases help the listener understand your timeline clearly. Practice creating a similar paragraph about your own commute or journey. You can say, I take a bus, I ride a bike, or I walk to class. Try using those verbs and time expressions to make your sentences complete. Here's a short practice exercise. I will say a sentence and then you can try to change it based on your own life. First sentence, I take the train to work every morning. Now you try it. Maybe you don't take a train. You can say, I ride my bike to school, or I drive my car to the office. Next sentence, I start working at 9 a.m. You can change this to match your own schedule. Maybe you start school at 8 or work at 10. These small exercises help you train your brain to speak automatically in English. Now let's talk about what happens during your day. For example, I work from 9 to 5. Or, I have classes from 8 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can also describe your breaks. I usually take a coffee break around 11 o'clock. Or, I eat lunch at noon. Again, we are using simple present tense and time expressions. Try describing your work or school schedule out loud. Say something like, I have math class at 10, or I take a lunch break at 12:30. These are common patterns in English, and practicing them will make you feel more confident in real conversations. Here is another sample paragraph. I start working at 9 a.m. and check my emails first. After that, I have a team meeting at 10 o'clock. I usually take a short break around 11:30 and then continue working until lunch. I eat lunch with my colleagues at 1 p.m. and go back to work at 2. The afternoon is usually quiet, so I finish my reports and make phone calls. Notice how the paragraph flows smoothly. Each activity is linked to a time or sequence. First, after that, usually then, and so on. These are called transition words, and they help your English sound more natural. Try building your own version of this paragraph. You might say, I start my classes at 9. I have English class in the morning and science after that. I take a break at 11 and eat lunch with my friends at 1 o'clock. In the afternoon, I usually study or do homework. Keep repeating your version out loud until it feels natural. You can even record yourself and listen to your pronunciation. This kind of repetition is powerful for language learning. Let's take a moment to talk about another helpful phrase when discussing routines. The word then. It's used to show sequence. For example, I wake up, then I brush my teeth, then I have breakfast, then I go to work. While it's okay to use then many times, fluent speakers often mix it up with other transition words like after that, next, or later. So instead of repeating then over and over, try saying, I brush my teeth. After that, I have breakfast. Next, I get dressed. Later, I leave for work. Practicing with different transition words helps your English sound more advanced. Now let's try a small practice paragraph together. I'll say a short routine and then give you time to repeat it or say your own version. I wake up at 7, I get out of bed and stretch. After that, I go to the kitchen and make a cup of tea. Then I check my phone for messages. Next, I take a shower and get ready for work. Now you try. Say your routine out loud and try using some of the same sentence patterns. You could say, I get up at 6, I wash my face, make coffee, and read the news. Then I get dressed and leave for school. Practicing like this will make your English smoother every day. You might also want to talk about how you feel during your daily routine. For example, I feel tired in the morning, or I feel more energetic after I eat breakfast. These feeling words, tired, happy, stressed, relaxed, can add emotion to your speaking and make it more interesting. Try saying, I feel sleepy before my first class. Or, I feel relaxed when I drink tea in the evening. You can also talk about what you enjoy. I enjoy listening to music during my commute. Or, I enjoy cooking dinner after work. These phrases help you add personality to your conversations. Let's pause here and do another practice activity. Think about your full morning routine, from the moment you open your eyes to the time you start work or school. Try describing it in one paragraph. Use words like first, then, after that, next, and finally. Include what you do, how you feel, and what you enjoy. Here's an example. I wake up at 6:30. First, I check my messages. Then I go to the bathroom and brush my teeth. After that, I make breakfast and enjoy a cup of coffee. Next, I take a shower and get ready for work. Finally, I leave the house and listen to music on my way to the office. I feel relaxed and ready for the day. Now it's your turn. Pause and speak your version. Repeating this kind of paragraph daily will help build your English fluency faster than you expect. Now that you've practiced describing your morning and how you start your day, let's move on to the next stage of your daily routine, the afternoon and evening. Talking about these parts of the day is just as important because they involve common activities you can easily describe in English. Think about what you usually do after school or work. This is a great chance to use verbs like go, meet, cook, clean, watch, and rest. These are very common in daily life, and by learning to use them properly, you can explain your schedule clearly to anyone. Let's start with the simple afternoon routine. You could say, I finish work at 5 p.m. and take the train back home. When I get home, I rest for a while, check my phone, and have a snack. Sometimes I go for a walk or watch a short video online. In this short paragraph, notice how common activities are used in a natural way. You don't need long or complicated words, just keep your sentences simple and direct. Another way to say it is, after I get home, I like to relax. I sit on the couch, drink some water, and listen to music. It helps me recharge before I start cooking dinner. The verbs relax, sit, drink, and listen are useful for this part of the day. Try repeating them in your own sentences. Here's your next practice exercise. Think about what you do when you get home. Do you cook? Do you watch TV? Do you take a rest? Say it aloud in a full sentence. For example, after school, I take off my shoes and relax for a few minutes. Then I help my mom in the kitchen. Or I finish work at 6. Then I go to the gym for an hour. Practicing like this every day helps you become comfortable talking about your schedule in English. Let's now focus on evening routines. These are the things you usually do before going to bed. Common phrases include, I eat dinner at 8, or I usually take a shower before bed. You can also say, I watch a show with my family, or I read a book for 30 minutes. Try to include time markers and connectors like usually, often, after, then, and before. For example, after dinner, I wash the dishes. Then I take a shower and get ready for bed. Before sleeping, I like to read a little or listen to soft music. This structure helps listeners follow your timeline clearly. Here's another example paragraph. In the evening, I usually eat dinner with my family around 7 p.m. After that, we clean the kitchen and watch a movie together. Then I take a shower and get into my pajamas. Before bed, I like to read or scroll through my phone. I usually go to sleep around 10:30. Now try to create your own version. Think about what you normally do and use the same sentence patterns. I eat dinner at. Zrenie. После того я. Zrenie. Преди да спя. Аз. These small steps help build strong English speaking habits. You can also include feelings and reasons in your evening routine. For example, I like to take a shower at night because it helps me feel relaxed. Or, I avoid using my phone before bed because it makes it harder to sleep. These reasons make your English more expressive and give it a natural flow. Try saying, I watch TV after dinner because it helps me unwind. Or, I go to bed early because I need to wake up at 6 a.m. Expressing reasons adds depth to your speaking. Let's go into a full day routine now to see how everything comes together. Here's a complete example. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning, I brush my teeth, take a shower, and get dressed. After that, I have breakfast and leave for work at 7:30. I take the bus and usually arrive at the office around 8:15. I work from 9 to 5 and take a short lunch break around 1 p.m. After work, I go home, rest for a bit, and then cook dinner. I eat around 7 p.m., and after dinner, I clean up and relax by watching a movie or reading a book. I take a shower at night and usually go to bed at 10:30. Try creating your own version of a full day. Record it or write it down to help you memorize it. Repeating this once a day will do wonders for your fluency. Now let's shift focus to common expressions and phrases that can be used to describe your day in a more natural way. Instead of just saying, I eat breakfast, you can say, I grab a quick bite, or I make myself a coffee and toast. For lunch, instead of saying, I eat lunch, you could say, I usually grab something light, or I meet a friend for a quick lunch. These are more conversational and will help you sound like a native speaker. Try using these in your own routine. For example, I grab a cup of tea before heading out. Or, I meet my coworkers for lunch at the cafe nearby. It's also helpful to describe your habits or preferences using phrases like I'm used to, I prefer to, I don't usually, or I try to. For instance, I'm used to waking up early, or I prefer to study at night. These add personality and depth to your routine. You can say, I don't usually eat breakfast, but I always have coffee, or I try to walk at least 20 minutes every day. Practice these in your daily routine. I'm used to checking emails first thing in the morning, or I prefer relaxing with music after dinner. Here's your next speaking task. Describe your full day again, but this time include some of these natural expressions. Try to say, I usually, I'm used to, I prefer to, or I try to in your sentences. For example, I usually wake up at 6:30. I'm used to starting my day with a cold shower. I prefer having breakfast at home, but sometimes I grab something on the way. I try to stay off my phone until I finish my morning routine. This type of practice helps your English sound more advanced. Now let's talk about weekends. Weekends are part of your routine too, and they often have different patterns from weekdays. You might say, on Saturdays, I sleep in and have a big breakfast with my family. Or I usually hang out with friends or go shopping. On Sundays, many people relax, spend time at home, or prepare for the coming week. For example, I clean my room on Sunday mornings and plan my schedule for the week. Talking about your weekend is great practice and helps you learn new vocabulary. Here's a weekend routine example. On Saturday mornings, I usually wake up later than usual. I eat a big breakfast and do some house chores. In the afternoon, I meet friends or go to the mall. In the evening, I relax by watching a movie or playing video games. On Sunday, I like to stay home and take it easy. I clean my room, do laundry, and maybe read a book. I try to go to bed early on Sunday night to get ready for Monday. Now it's your turn. Describe your weekend. Say what time you get up, what you do for fun, what chores you do, and how you get ready for the week. Practicing this kind of speech regularly improves your confidence and vocabulary. Let's now add some questions and answers to simulate conversation. These will help you understand how to respond naturally when someone asks you about your daily routine. Here are some common questions. What time do you wake up? How do you get to work? What do you usually do in the evening? Do you prefer working in the morning or at night? Practice answering them aloud. For example, I wake up at 7. I take the train to work. In the evening, I cook dinner and watch TV. Or, I prefer working in the morning because I feel more focused. Let's do a quick Q&A session. I'll ask the question, then you pause and answer out loud. Question 1. What time do you usually wake up? Question 2. What's the first thing you do in the morning? Question 3. What do you eat for breakfast? Question 4. How do you usually spend your lunch break? Question 5. What do you do to relax after work or school? Question 6. What time do you go to bed? By answering these questions out loud every day, you are building automatic response patterns in English. This means when someone asks you in real life, you'll be ready to answer quickly and fluently. Finally, try combining everything you've learned so far into one longer paragraph. Include your weekday routine, a bit about your weekend, how you feel during your day, and what you prefer doing. This will give you complete practice with verbs, time expressions, and natural sentence flow. You could say something like, I usually wake up at 7 on weekdays. I get ready quickly and leave for work by 8. I work from 9 to 5, and I try to take short breaks during the day to stay focused. After work, I cook dinner, relax, and sometimes go for a walk. I go to bed around 10:30. On weekends, I like to sleep in and spend time with family. I often go shopping or watch movies. I prefer quiet Sundays to prepare for the week ahead. Now build your version and practice it until it flows smoothly. Now that you've gotten comfortable describing your full day and practiced using useful expressions like I usually, I prefer, and I try to, let's take it a step further. It's time to introduce some variety and detail to your routine descriptions by focusing on how long, how often, and how you feel about different activities. These details will help your English become more engaging and descriptive. Let's begin with how long something takes. Instead of just saying, I eat breakfast, you can say, I usually take 15 minutes to eat breakfast. Or, it takes me 30 minutes to commute to work. These small time references make your sentences richer and more realistic. Try saying, I spend about an hour at the gym. Or, dinner usually takes 45 minutes from cooking to cleaning up. These additions are small, but they improve fluency and make your speaking more natural. Now let's practice together. Think about each part of your day and ask yourself how long you spend doing it. For example, I spend 10 minutes brushing my teeth. It takes 20 minutes to get dressed. I work for 8 hours. I relax for an hour before going to bed. Try saying those aloud. Then try combining them into full sentences. I wake up at 6:30 and spend 15 minutes getting ready. Then I have breakfast, which usually takes 20 minutes. Adding how long gives a clearer picture to your listener and helps you sound more fluent. Now let's move to how often. This is a key part of daily routines. You can use adverbs like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never to express how frequently you do something. For example, I always drink tea in the morning. I usually go to bed by 11. I often walk to work. Or, I rarely eat fast food. These words help describe your habits and preferences clearly. You can say, I never skip breakfast, or I sometimes take a nap in the afternoon. Try repeating these with your own routine. Now let's practice with some examples. I'll say a sentence and you try to say your version afterward. Ready? I usually wake up early. I often take a long shower. I sometimes skip lunch if I'm busy. I always brush my teeth after meals. I rarely go to bed after midnight. I never drink coffee at night. Good job. These small habit markers help you speak naturally. Use one or two of these in each sentence when you describe your daily routine. Let's now bring in the emotional element, how you feel about your routine. This helps your English feel more real and conversational. For example, instead of just saying, I walk to work, say, I enjoy walking to work because it gives me time to think. Or, I don't like waking up early, but I do it anyway. You can use expressions like, I enjoy, I hate, I like, I don't mind, I find it boring, it relaxes me, and more. Try these examples. I enjoy cooking dinner with my family. I hate doing the dishes, but I do them every day. I love my quiet mornings. I find working late very tiring. Taking a hot shower at night helps me relax. Now make a few of your own. Say what you like and dislike about your daily activities. Now let's combine how long, how often, and how you feel into one paragraph. Here's an example. I usually wake up at 7. It takes me about 30 minutes to get ready, and I enjoy listening to music while I shower. I always have breakfast at home because I don't like starting the day on an empty stomach. It takes me 45 minutes to get to work, and I usually listen to podcasts during my commute. After work, I often go for a walk. It relaxes me and helps me clear my mind. I spend about 30 minutes cooking dinner, which I really enjoy. I go to bed around 11 because I prefer staying up a little late. Now it's your turn. Try making your own full routine paragraph using these types of details. Practice aloud. You can even record your voice and listen back to check your fluency and pronunciation. Let's now move on to another useful part of learning English through daily routines: making comparisons. Comparing different days or activities helps build vocabulary and sentence structure. Use phrases like On weekdays, on weekends, compared to, more than, less than, the same as, different from, etc. Here's an example. On weekdays, I wake up at 6:30, but on weekends, I sleep in until 9. Or, my Monday routine is different from my Friday routine. On Mondays, I go to the gym after work, but on Fridays, I go out with friends. You can also say, I spend more time relaxing on Sunday than on any other day. Or, I work more on weekdays and rest more on weekends. Making comparisons like this makes your speaking sound more advanced and adds variety. Here's a short practice paragraph using comparisons. During the week, I'm very busy, so I don't get much free time. I wake up early and go to bed late. But on weekends, I sleep in and enjoy more free time. On weekdays, I usually eat lunch quickly at work, but on Sundays, I cook a big lunch and eat with my family. My weekend routine is much more relaxed compared to my weekday routine. Now try making your own paragraph. Think about what changes between your weekdays and weekends. What do you do more or less of? What do you enjoy more? Speak out loud or write it down. Let's go one step further and add future plans into your routine. This helps you practice speaking in the future tense and using modal verbs like will, might, going to, want to, and plan to. For example, tomorrow I'm going to wake up early and go for a run. Or, next week I plan to study more after work. You can also say, I might take a day off next Friday. Or, I'll probably sleep in on Saturday. Let's look at this future-focused routine. Tomorrow, I'll wake up at 7, take a quick shower, and leave for work by 8. I'm going to have lunch with my friend at a new cafe. After work, I plan to do some grocery shopping and cook a nice dinner. In the evening, I'll probably watch a movie before going to bed. Try describing your tomorrow. What will you do differently? Use I will, I'm going to, and I might. Even a short paragraph like, I'm going to study English in the morning, go to work in the afternoon, and relax in the evening is great practice. Now let's switch things up with a story-style routine, which helps you remember vocabulary and sentence flow. Imagine telling someone what happened yesterday like a little story. Use past tense verbs such as woke up, ate, went, worked, watched, relaxed, etc. This helps you switch tenses and speak with more confidence. Here's an example of a short routine in the past tense. Yesterday, I woke up at 6:30. I took a quick shower and had a cup of coffee. Then I caught the bus and went to work. I worked all day and had lunch at my desk. After work, I went to the grocery store, then came home and cooked dinner. I watched a short movie and went to bed around 11 p.m. Now make your own yesterday routine. Think of 5 or 6 sentences about what you did. Use past tense for every verb. Practice aloud to help you remember the correct forms. Here are some common past tense verbs to help you. Wake, woke, go, went, eat, ate, have, had, take, took, come, came, do, did, get, got, watch, watched, cook, cooked, relax, relaxed. Now let's do a quick speaking drill using all 3 tenses. Ready? I'll guide you. Present. I usually wake up at 7. Past. Yesterday I woke up at 6:30. Future. Tomorrow I'll wake up at 8. Try with these actions. I go to work at 9. Yesterday I went to work at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow I will go to work at 10 o'clock. I eat dinner at 7 o'clock. Yesterday I ate dinner at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow I will eat dinner at 8. I study in the evening. Yesterday I studied in the morning. Tomorrow I'm going to study at noon. This kind of practice helps you become fluent with all the tenses and improves your speaking accuracy. Let's wrap up this part with a mini challenge. I want you to describe your daily routine using at least one time expression, one frequency word, one feeling or opinion, one comparison, and one future plan. For example, I usually wake up at 6:30 and get ready in 30 minutes. I enjoy quiet mornings because they help me start my day calmly. I go to work by train, which takes around 45 minutes. Compared to weekends, my weekdays are very busy. Tomorrow, I plan to wake up earlier and go for a short walk before breakfast. Try to create your own version with these elements. Speak it aloud, write it down, and keep practicing until it feels natural. You've done a great job so far, learning how to talk about your daily routine using present, past, and future tenses, adding details like how long, how often, and how you feel, and even comparing different days and activities. Now let's wrap up this video by doing a few final practice exercises and sharing some helpful learning tips to keep your routine strong and your English growing every day. Let's begin with a simple listening and speaking routine quiz. I'll describe a person's daily routine, and you'll try to answer questions about it. This will help improve both your comprehension and your speaking ability. Ready? Listen carefully. Every weekday, Alex wakes up at 6:45 in the morning. He spends about 20 minutes getting ready and then eats a quick breakfast. He leaves for work at 8 and usually takes the subway. He works from 9 to 5 and has lunch with his coworkers. After work, he often goes to the gym, then comes home and cooks dinner. He relaxes by watching a series and goes to bed around 11 p.m. Now, here are some questions. Try to answer them out loud. What time does Alex wake up? How long does it take him to get ready? How does he go to work? When does he start work? What does he usually do after work? What time does he go to bed? If you answered all of them, great job. This shows you can understand real-life English routines. Keep practicing this kind of listening by replaying the same routine and saying your answers a little faster each time. Now let's try the reverse. I'll ask you questions about your routine, and you answer in full sentences. Just pretend you're speaking to a friend or a teacher. What time do you usually wake up? What's the first thing you do in the morning? How long does it take you to get to school or work? Do you prefer mornings or evenings? How do you relax after a long day? What time do you usually go to bed? Try answering all of these out loud. Don't worry about small mistakes, just speak. The more you say it, the better your fluency becomes. Now here's a powerful technique that will make your English routine practice more effective. Shadowing. This means you listen to a native speaker or video and repeat every sentence they say exactly how they say it, just 1 or 2 seconds after them. It's like echoing their voice. This trains your brain to copy natural pronunciation, rhythm, and sentence flow. You can use this video or any English learning podcast and just follow along with the speaker for 5 to 10 minutes every day. Another great tip is to record yourself speaking your daily routine. You can use your phone and talk for 1 or 2 minutes about your day. Then listen back and notice your pronunciation, speed, and word choice. Try recording the same routine again the next day and improving a little each time. Over time, you'll notice big improvements in your speaking clarity and confidence. And here's another powerful habit. Write down your routine in English every night or every morning, just 5 to 7 sentences. For example, today, I woke up at 6. I brushed my teeth, got dressed, and made breakfast. I worked from 9 to 5. After work, I relaxed with a book and went to bed at 10:30. This kind of writing is great for improving sentence structure and grammar awareness. Now let's talk about daily routine vocabulary expansion. One of the best ways to build your English is by learning new words related to daily actions. Start with verbs like wake up, stretch, brush, eat, drink, wash, dress, leave, walk, run, drive, work, return, relax, clean, cook, read, watch, and sleep. Then add time expressions like in the morning, at noon, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, every day, on weekends, during lunch, before bed, after work, and add frequency words like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. These are the core building blocks of your English routine conversations. You can create flashcards or a word list and review a few words each day. Let's go through a final daily routine example, a little longer like a natural story, and then I'll guide you to create your own. Hi, my name is Emily, and here's what my usual day looks like. I wake up at 7 a.m. and spend about 20 minutes getting ready for work. I usually have a light breakfast, just coffee and toast. I leave the house by 8 and take the train, which takes around 30 minutes. I work at a design firm from 9 to 5. During lunch, I sometimes go for a walk or eat with coworkers. After work, I usually stop by the gym or go straight home if I feel tired. I cook dinner around 7 and spend the evening watching a movie or reading. I try to sleep by 11 to stay fresh for the next day. Now you try creating your own story like that. Talk about your morning, your work or study day, your lunch, your evening, and bedtime routine. Keep it simple and clear. You can record your version and practice it every day. Then try changing it to past tense or future tense to keep improving your grammar and fluency. Before we end, here's one more tip. Use your routine to think in English throughout your day. Try thinking about what you're doing in English. For example, when you brush your teeth, say in your mind, I'm brushing my teeth now. I'm getting dressed. I'm making breakfast. This kind of mental practice helps you form natural English thoughts and makes speaking much easier later. And that's it for today's lesson. We've covered a lot, from using your daily routine to build English fluency, to practicing different tenses, learning key vocabulary, improving sentence flow, and adding expression and detail to your speaking. Remember, learning English doesn't happen in one day, but small daily practice creates big results. So use your daily routine as your daily English class. Speak out loud, describe your actions, and talk to yourself in English every day. If you enjoyed this lesson and found it helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so you never miss an episode. And if you want more videos like this, tell us in the comments what part of your routine do you find hardest to describe in English. We'd love to help you improve. Thank you for learning with me today. I'm Elena, and this is English in Moments. Keep practicing, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.